Again, welcome to our recorded discussion. Our topic for today is all about management. I am your discussant, Professor Rebecca R. Makiling. So our objective is we will discuss about the purpose of management, the manager's job, the type of managers and the roles, and some basic theories about the management. First, let us recall the goal of the management. Okay. Management, this is a set of activities which includes the planning, decision making, organizing, leading, and controlling. So the goal of this activity is, of course, directed to the organization's goal, of which we want to make sure that the resources, no, example of our resources, we have the human resources, the financial resources, physical resources, and information must be efficient and effective. That's really the goal of the management. Aside from, of course, getting better performance in terms of profits or in terms of operation, but we want also to make sure that our resources that we have put in our business, they are not wasted. So let us first define efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is more on the using the resources wisely in a very cost-effective way. We know that our resources are scarce. Okay, so we want to make sure that these resources are not wasted. While for effectiveness, this is making the right decisions, making it successfully implement those actions of our decisions at the right time and at the right way. So what is a manager? A manager is someone whose primary responsibility is to carry out the management process. He is the one who plan, who make decision, organize, leads, controls the resources, the human resources, the financial resources, physical and information resources. For a small business, the manager is usually the business owner. But for a bigger company or bigger corporation, they will hire managers just to carry out the management activities. Okay, so there are levels of management. We have the top managers, we have the middle managers, the first line managers. So who are these top managers? They are relatively small group of executives who manage the organization overall goals, strategy, and operating policies. They are usually the chief operating officers or the chief financial officers or the business owner itself. Okay. How about the middle managers? The middle managers is the largest group of managers in organization who are primarily responsible for implementing the policies and plans of the top management. They supervise and coordinate the activities of lower level managers. So it's the middle managers. Okay. So it depends upon the company. If the company is a very big company, so they have the top, we have the middle, and they have their first liner manager. But if it's a small company, maybe the top and going down to the first line manager. So it depends upon the the how big the company is. Okay, so now let's go to the first line managers. The first line managers are managers who supervise and coordinate the activities of operating employees. So they are usually the supervisors. Okay, they are the first line. No, they are directly who supervise the laborers or the rank and file employees. So that's the first line manager, or we call it supervisor. Then from the supervisor, we have the middle managers, usually the head of that different areas. And then we have the top managers, the chief managers. So that's the levels of managements. Okay, next, we have also different kinds of managers in terms of areas, especially for complex organizations. So there are different departments which will lead by different managers, and basically the types of managers enumerated, ito yung mga usual managers in the business here in the Philippines. So we have the marketing managers. They work in areas related to getting the consumers, customers, clients to buy the organization products or services. We have the financial managers who primarily with an organization financial resources. Okay, we have the operation managers. They are concerned with creating and managing the system that create organization products and services. We have also the human resource managers. They are involved in human resource planning, recruiting and selection, training and development, designing compensation and benefit system, and formulating performance appraisal system. We have also the administrative managers. They are the generalists who are very familiar with all functional areas of management and who are not associated with any particular management specialty. And other kinds of managers, especially those managers who have specialized managerial positions directly related to the needs of the organizations. So those are the types of managers. Now, let us go to the management process in the organization. Regardless of level or area, management involves the four basic functions of planning, okay, decision making, and organizing, leading, and controlling. These are the four areas of the management. So planning and decision making, organizing, controlling, and leading. Of course, they will be the one who manage the inputs from the environment, no? So, as what we discussed, they will manage the resources of the company in terms of the human resource, financial resource, physical and information resource. So they are the one who act as part of the management with the goal, of course, to make it efficient and effective. Okay. Now, let's go to the main details of these four basic functions. For planning and decision making, um, it means setting an organization's goal and deciding how best to achieve. So this is the simplest form of rule of being a manager. So they set the goal, they have the objectives, they have usually the vision, the mission, the goal, and the process on how to achieve this goal. So we have the actions. Okay, so decision making is a part of the planning process. So it involves course of action from the set of alternatives. So planning a decision will help managers maintain their effectiveness by serving as a guide for their future activities. So in other words, the organization's goal and plans clearly help managers how to allocate their time and resources. So usually the managers will conduct annual planning, or they must have 6 years plan. So it depends upon their company if they have the 3 years plan, 6 year plan, or 1 year plan. So usually they conduct it every year or annually, and then from that plan they set some objectives and some actions on how to achieve their goals, their mission goals of their company. So once the manager has set goals and developed the workable plan, his or her next management function is to organize the people and other resources necessary to carry out the plan. So that is organizing. So determining how best to group the activities and resources. The third is leading. So some people consider leading to be both the most important and the most challenging of all managerial activities, since it consists of motivating the members of the organization or the employees of the organization to work on their best interests of the organization. So it is the most important and most challenging. Okay, because it depends upon the one who leads, and also it depends also on the environment, how to lead, and the leader, of course, and the subordinate, how to make your subordinate or how to make your employees follow your example. Okay, the final phase of the management process is controlling. This is monitoring the organization's progress towards its goal. So as the organization moves towards its goal, managers must monitor the progress to ensure that it is performing in such a way to arrive at its destination at the appointed time. So it is a continuing process. So we need to control. We have some key performance measures, or KPI. We call it KPI. So we need to control it if we attain our goal. If we did not attain our goal, so we need some other alternatives or other actionable item to lead to our destination, or to lead to our vision, to lead to our goal of our company. It is not easy to become a manager. So it needs skills to become effective manager. So there are fundamental management skills enumerated in our discussions. We have the technical, the interpersonal, the conceptual, diagnostic, communication, decision making, and time management skills. So first is the technical skills. To carry out these management functions, managers rely on these fundamental skills. So technical skills are necessary to accomplish or understand the specific kind of work done in the organization. They are very important, especially for the first line managers, the one who is directly involved in the operation of the company. These managers spend much of their time training on their subordinates, answering questions about work-related problems. So to be effective managers, they must know how to perform the tasks assigned to those they supervise. Okay, so they must have the technical know-how on how to do it, especially if, for example, if your company is on the banana plantation, so you know to how to operate that operation, or on the banana, you have the skills on how to do it in proper order, since you are the one who will teach your laborers, you are the one who will teach your employees on how to do it. So that is technical skills. Second is interpersonal skills. So managers spend considerable time interacting with people, both inside and outside the organization. So for obvious reason, they need interpersonal skills. No, the ability to communicate with, understand, motivate both individuals and group. So he must be able to get along with the subordinates. Okay, so he must have these interpersonal skills. He know how to handle people. Okay, and also he knows how to handle suppliers, customers, investors, and other outside the organization. The next skills that we need to have is the conceptual skills. This depends on the manager's ability to think in the abstract. Okay, so the manager needs the mental capacity to understand the overall workings of the organization, its environment, uh, he must know the all parts of organization, how to fit in together, to view the organization in a holistic manner, to see the whole organization itself, the big picture, to make broad-based decision that will serve the overall organization. That is conceptual skills. How about diagnostic skills? Successful managers must possess these skills. So this is a skill that enables them to visualize the most appropriate response to a situation. So if there are symptoms of the situation, he can diagnose, no, and analyze the problem. So study the symptoms, develop the solutions, how to solve it. So that is diagnostic skill. So before the problem arises, so the manager must have some he can diagnose that there would be problem later on, and so that it will mitigate those problem, okay, para hindi maging malala yung problema. So that is diagnostic skills. Next is communication skills. The manager must have these very important communication skills. So this is the ability to convey ideas and information effectively, receive the ideas and information about the others. Okay, this will enable the manager to transmit ideas to subordinates, to coordinate with the peer, coordinate with the colleagues, that they will work together. Okay, so this is also very important. And of course, he must understand the real meaning behind the emails, the letters, reports, and other written communication skills. So he must have the oral and written communication skills. Next is decision-making skills. Effective managers must have good decision-making skills. So it refers to the manager's ability to correctly recognize, define the problems and opportunities, and then select an appropriate course of action to solve problems and capitalize on opportunities. Okay, so, but not all managers may have the right decisions at all times, but of course, effective managers must have a good decision most of the time. Okay? And if they will have mistake on giving their decision, they can quickly recover, with a little cost or damage to the organization. The last skill is time management skill. So it refers the ability to prioritize work, to work efficiently, and to delegate the work appropriately. So as a manager, you know how to face different pressures and challenges. You know how to delegate your work to your subordinates, okay? And of course, you know how to prioritize. Now, priority first, those who uh, kailangan ng deadline or what, no? So that's part of your skills. You might be wondering why CEO, CFO, and COO are receiving higher compensation when they do not much of the technical side of the job. So here is the illustration that would explain such. So we have the top manager, the middle manager, and the first line managers. So usually the first line managers have the technical skills, so because they are really involved in the giving advice or giving instructions to their subordinates, and they must have greater interpersonal skills. They know how to go along with their subordinates. However, for the top managers, they must have the greater conceptual skills and greater diagnostic skills. So when you say conceptual skills, so it is more detailed, more brainy, and also on the diagnostic skills. So usually, that's the reason why the CEO, the CFO, and the CEO, the top managers, have higher compensation uh, than the technical side of managers, because they view more on the overview of the company. They do the strategic planning. They have the conceptual skills. They can diagnose problems before the problem occur, and they are more futuristics. They do the planning, they do some controlling, and they are usually the business owners, the owners of the business, and they are diagnostic, they diagnosing problems and so on, and they have the concept of how to manage or how to manage the business, unlike on the first line managers. Okay. Is management an art or science? To manage effectively, one must have not only the necessary abilities to lead, but also a set of critical skills to acquire through time, experience, and practice. So management is an art because it organizes and uses human talent. Okay? So this art involves the conception of a vision of an orderly whole created from chaotic parts and communications and achievements of these visions. So the elements of art in management is first practical knowledge. So art requires practical knowledge, and learning of theory is not sufficient because a person may have a degree, he knows what a manager does, but if he doesn't know how to apply the management knowledge in real life situation, he will not be regarded as managers. Second, personal skill. A manager will not depend on his theoretical knowledge or solution alone. He must have some qualities that make him or her unique. Third, creativity. He thinks outside the box and creates things extraordinary. So management is creative like any other art. It is finding new way to be well different from others. Next, perfection through practice. So it needs more practice to make it perfect. The last is goal-oriented. Art is result-oriented, and management works also are goal-oriented or result-oriented. So that's the reason why it is called an art. How about how management is science? Science is obtaining information about a particular object by a scientific or systematic pattern of observation. So here, it also follows a systematic method to find possible solution for a problem. So the elements here are the following. So first is concept. So it is scientific approach, requires mental image of anything formed by generalization from particulars. So managing the concept to deal with the situation. Second, methods and principles. So it is a scientific method, involves the determination of facts through observation, development of principles, and predicting what will happen in similar circumstances. Theories, so this is a branch of science. So we have different theories in management. And then we have also organized knowledge. So it is a science because science is organized knowledge. So management on the present day is distinct from before. So it has concept, it has methods, principles, theories, and now meron tayong course of management. And then this is an organized knowledge, or it's still a science, and practice provide systematic grouping of interdependent concepts and principles that furnish a framework. So altogether, these elements make the management a science, and the other one is make the management as an art. Both are art and science because they have, this is an art of how to manage your resources, and of course a science because there is systematic method finding solution to a problem. Now you know the management process, the planning and decision making, organizing, leading, controlling, and monitoring. You also know the type of managers in terms of the levels and areas. You also know that managers must have the skills to possess. We have technical and so on. And we also know that management is an art and a science. So these are the preparation of managers to act on their key management rules. So we have different management rules. So we have interpersonal rules, information rules, and decision rules. So as for interpersonal rules, manager act as a leader, as a figurehead, as a liaison. For informational rules, managers monitor, disseminator, and also a spokesperson. For decision rules, managers are entrepreneurs, disturbance handler, and negotiator. So you need to practice the skills. You need to practice, possess the technical know-how, the different kinds of the qualities of being a good manager, so that in the future, if you will become a manager, you will become successful in managing in doing all the management activities later on in your respective works. Okay.